What is going on, everybody? First of all, a huge thank you if you are listening or watching, be it live or be it the VOD. I do greatly appreciate you doing so. As you may have heard, YouTube has changed its algorithm somewhat slightly, so the longer you hang out and watch, the better. Thank you so much for those of you who stay for the duration of the stream. Also, you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Any sort of interactions definitely help. The channel has definitely been hit by the YouTube algo shift, meaning that the primary focus of this channel needs to be on Xbox, which is just fine with me, in order for it to be shared. But I've made a decision about that. I'm not going to play YouTube's game. I'm going to continue covering whatever I want to cover. I think I did an excellent job on the Wolverine Easter egg breakdown. I would encourage you to check that out. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the production of my content. If YouTube's going to tank channels for their subscribers, many of my subscribers are Xbox focused, not watching it, and then insist on not sharing that the way that they used to before August, I could cover various topics and such, and I would do just fine. I knew that I would have a lower ROI, but now you're talking about 200 views versus 20,000. It is a drastic impact to how YouTube does business. I am in communication with them, and we are trying to figure out what is the resolution going forward, because I'm sorry, but $1.20 of ad revenue is not a sustainable business model. They know that, I know that, and we'll figure out where we go from there. In the meantime, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop posting, but I am holding YouTube accountable for this drastic shift that has devastated many of my friends in the industry. That includes, I believe, the guys who used to be with Rooster Teeth. They're doing their thing over there. They've seen a drastic impact. Large channels like Linus Tech Tips have seen a drastic impact. But I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere, but I do want you to know what is going on and just how negative an impact it has been from a creator's perspective. And additionally, as somebody that likes watching content on YouTube, I have YouTube Premium just so that I can skip ads after being teased about it on one of my live streams. I think it has negatively impacted my viewing experience. I don't see channels that I'm subscribed to. Users tell me that they don't see channels that they're subscribed to, like this one. They just simply don't even get recommended my content half the time. YouTube is completely screwing the pooch, so to speak. It's very frustrating and unacceptable, and I just needed to get that off my chest. I made a post about it late one night the other day. I do appreciate the encouraging comments to keep going. I will keep going. And what I'm going to do is make better content as opposed to fast content. So that might mean a day or two without posts. Maybe you see some stream clips, which you think would do terribly, but believe it or not, YouTube seems to like it when I do a live stream and then clip out segments of that live stream and re-air them. And my audience has said in the past, I would rather watch those segments. So that's why I've been doing a bit more of that. It's a very strange time, and I'm going to roll with the punches the best I can. But what I really want to focus on is just making good content for y'all. Like this live stream, which hopefully you end up enjoying. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I do appreciate you hanging out. Just wanted to get a little bit of an introduction for y'all and some context as to what has been going on. This past week has been a very Xbox-centric week. Yes, we did hear about the Wolverine game from Insomniac, which I am incredibly excited about. We also heard about Physint, the new tactical espionage action game from Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima had a whole big presentation during TGS week, sort of. TGS happened, and there's a ton of news coming out from that event. Namely, let's focus on Xbox at the start of the show, though, because Xbox has had quite a crazy week, everybody. Everybody is talking about, you guessed it, the ROG Xbox Ally X. Now, this is the official post where they are talking about the device. It reads, ready to play anywhere. Players can now pre-order the ROG Xbox Ally X and the ROG Xbox Ally in 38 countries. I have to take an L on this one for just a moment, because when I called Best Buy, I was told by somebody who works behind the scenes obviously, probably somebody who works in the phone department. I was told it would be $899. However, that is not the price that was revealed. It actually dropped at $999.99, with the ROG Xbox Ally dropping at $599. I was $50 off on the ROG Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X. So, got to take the W, not on that one. Got to take the L on that one. Admit I was wrong, but that is what happened. I called. That's what I was told. I did follow-up videos about it, and here we are today. The ROG Xbox Ally X is $999. Now, personally, when I did that video, I saw a lot of positive responses to the idea of it being $899. The ROG Ally X is currently priced at $899, and it dropped to $799 on the official website as of this announcement. However, the ROG Xbox Ally X, it is now priced at $999.99. Now, there's 3 big handhelds on the market right now, and I'm probably going to do a larger piece about this as my next video on the channel. We're talking about the Steam Deck. We have the ROG Xbox Ally, and we have the ROG Xbox Ally X, and there was one other major contender to jump into the market, and it is also selling quite well. That is the Lenovo Legion Go 2. Now, I know a bunch of influencers got their hands on one. I did reach out to the Legion or Lenovo team to see if I could potentially get a review unit that I returned. That would be wonderful, because I want to see how this Lenovo Legion Go compares to the Steam Deck, and when it comes out on October 16th, the ROG Xbox Ally X. I have a lot of questions because it is $100 more expensive than the ROG Xbox Ally X, and I am curious where it stacks up. So we have all these handhelds, and personally, if you start digging into the stats, I do want to say that the ROG Xbox Ally really hits a sweet spot in terms of what it can do. It sacrifices a little bit on the screen and what the screen is capable of versus something like the Steam Deck OLED. But for $50 more, you do get the faster M2 drive. You get the new CPU processor, and you get a little bit better battery life. So I think the ROG Xbox Ally is priced really, really well, and I do think that a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Now, I do see a bunch of people in chat. I'm recording this live. I try and live stream every Sunday. A lot of people in chat are talking about how they have already pre-ordered it. They are pre-ordering it. They're getting the console, the handheld, whatever you want to call it. And they're happy. They're excited about this device, and they want to see more. So, long story short, it has been selling out everywhere. Let's read what Xbox had to say about this new device. Starting today, players can pre-order the ROG Xbox Ally X and ROG Xbox Ally, 2 powerful handhelds built to take your game library with you wherever you go. They combine the best of Asus hardware, the flexibility of Windows, and an approachable Xbox experience, so your games, friends, and progress are always within reach. Join the launch. Pre-orders now live live in 38 countries. Launching globally on October 16th, the Xbox Ally X and Xbox Ally offer 2 unique versions to match your individual playstyle. Pricing is set an estimated retail price for each device. Exact prices will be announced per region as pre-orders go live, and as we know, it is very expensive for a lot of people. So, how are we feeling about this? This is what I want to know from the chat. Here's what they talk about in terms of features. They have Play Anywhere, jump back in where you left off across PC, console, and cloud. Big positive. Xbox on the go. Profile, library, community, store, and achievements. Full screen experience, immersive Xbox boot up. Now, there has been a little bit of talk about the Xbox gaming handheld performance. You can boot this thing up in 2 different modes. You can boot this up in gaming mode, and you can boot it up in Windows mode, and you do get a little bit more performance. I need to dive into the technicals of what that actually means in terms of what you get in terms of performance, but that is of note. Install and play all PC games and 1,000 plus supported Xbox Play Anywhere titles. So yes, contrary to contrary to popular belief, you can actually install games on this and play it offline. You don't need to be tethered to the internet. There are 360 era games where you do need to be online, and I'm sure there are some other games where you need to use the cloud infrastructure to be able to access them. But there are plenty of games that you can actually utilize and play on the go to your heart's content. So just be aware that that is a possibility. And you do get 3 months of Game Pass included, so you can try it out, take it or leave it, decide if you like it or don't. Now, I think the features are pretty strong. I do enjoy it feature-wise. That does seem to be one big positive for the console. But I am curious more about how that additional performance gets unlocked. And of course, you can upgrade via micro SD cards, etc. It has a Seagate FireCuda 530R SSD, and their marketing says, unleash fast speeds, extreme durability on and unrivaled performance. The FireCuda 530R SSD supports Microsoft Direct Storage and seamless gaming and is available in 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, or 4 terabyte capacities. Now, I'm really curious to hear from chat. How do we feel about this handheld? I'm going to do a poll here in just a second, but you can just leave comments as we're live. Is this too expensive or not too expensive? What do you think? Let me know. We'll talk about it for a little bit here. Let me see if I can add a real quick poll over on YouTube so that you can tell me your thoughts about the pricing structure of this particular device. Is the ROG Xbox Ally X too expensive? Yes or no? Very simple. Yes or no. Either it is too expensive or it isn't. So if you feel like it's priced right, give it a thumbs up. If you feel like it's too expensive, give it a thumbs down. I personally think it's a little bit too expensive. I think if you would have come in at, I don't know, honestly, $8.99, I think that was the price. The one thing is, though, they have been sold out already. There's already people scalping this thing. Now, I don't think it's going to be like the Nintendo Switch 1, where people were hungry to get this thing, but I do feel like it's just a hair too expensive. That said, you are going to get a significant performance bump over something like the Steam Deck OLED. You're going to get a significant performance bump over the ROG Xbox Ally, and it's going to go toe-to-toe with their competitor, the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which has a very similar architecture for $100 more. And actually, there's a few parts of the Lenovo Legion Go 2 where the ROG Xbox Ally X, I think, outperforms it. So it's a very interesting spot for the handheld to be in. I do think it's a great handheld. I'm a little bit unsure about the price. Why would Asus make the ROG Xbox Ally X cheaper than the OG ROG Ally X? Makes no sense, says DarkZone2525. They've already reduced the price of the original ROG Ally X. They've reduced it to $799 for the base model on their website. I believe that they should have launched this particular unit at $899. But if you do look at market conditions, to your point, I think that the market conditions are proving that people are willing to pay this additional price for their tech. I do not like that tech is getting more expensive. I think it sets an unhealthy precedent where us, the consumers and players and gamers, end up paying more money for everything, and we don't get a whole lot in addition in the form of a return. So that is one thing. Lenovo Legion Go 2 does have an OLED screen, so that's pretty tantalizing in my opinion. Well, the ROG Xbox Ally, the base unit, is an LCD screen. Let me bring up my fact sheet here because I have been digging into this a little bit. The Ally X, I actually don't know. Does it have it? No, it's 500 nits, right? Wait. It's Gorilla Glass Victus brightness 500 nits. So yeah, I think it's the LCD display also. So that is a reasonable reason for the Lenovo Legion Go 2 having an OLED screen, would make it go up. Will it, Phil Roney with a good question here. Question is, will it go up in price half a year from now? It might. The way things are going, seriously, I'm getting a higher rate of return on my Xbox Series consoles. Like the Series X, what is this worth now? It's worth $700. What was it at launch? $499. So it's increased in value. Isn't that crazy to think about? And I just put everything old up there and stored, like the base PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S. They're all up there for when I need them for performance testing. But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of nuts that the consoles have been increasing in price to the point where I'm making a profit margin on them just for holding on to them. It's getting to the point where I could just resell my launch day consoles for a profit. So that's where I'm at with the handheld devices. We can revisit that at the end because I know people will come in later, so we can do a little bit of a recap. But for the most part, I think I agree with you. I think it's right on the line in terms of pricing. And if you look at the overall market, you can see that overall in the market, it's priced where it should be, but that says more about the market, in my opinion, than it does about where the ROG Xbox Ally should actually be posted. And unfortunately, right now, it's not posted where it should be. The whole market isn't really priced where it should be in terms of handhelds. Sorry, I misspoke because I was typing something. I mean, the whole market is sort of out of whack right now in terms of where things should be priced. And there was a lot of kerfluffle about my whole pricing structure about how you can build a PC for $800. Yeah, that's true. You can build a PC that trounces the Xbox 2 terabyte. It'll do better than the PlayStation 5 Pro. Did you know that right now you can get a 5070 for, I believe, $499? It's nuts. It's nuts how cheap. And the 9060 XT, it's like $350. So if you want to do an AMD GPU, that's about the same price. You can do pretty well for yourself. I've been very surprised looking at all of the components of these devices. Destin, do you put the Switch 2 in the same category as these PC handhelds? I don't, and the main reason that I don't is because the Switch 2 is really, it's a video game console with mobile capabilities. It is the core Nintendo unit. I could include it in the overall pricing as it comes in lower, but you can't install Steam games on it. You can't install Epic games on it. All of your games cost a huge markup because it's locked to the Nintendo platform. It is a good handheld, but I don't personally think that it makes a lot of sense to be included on the list. Chat, maybe you can agree with me, disagree with me, but I think that one's a little bit of a, did I say 5070? I meant the 5090. I meant the 5070. Yeah, it's $499 right now over at Walmart for the 12 gigabyte video card. It's pretty slick. You can build a PC that's better than PS5 Pro and Xbox Series S. That's the thing. The prices have gotten to the point where the more that I look at it, the more, if I were recommending a console to somebody, I would recommend the base PlayStation 5, all up. All of the Xbox games have been slowly making their way over to the PlayStation. I think dollar per performance, you get an amazing value with the base PlayStation 5. I would argue with the price increases on Xbox, they have just priced themselves out of the market. The base PlayStation 5, even with the price increase, it's still a great value. I wish they didn't increase the prices. There's also enough on the market that you can get a really reasonably priced base unit for probably around that $400 mark, which they are originally at. They do regular bundles and sales. You have Black Friday coming up. I think those base units are going to see a long life, because who knows when they're going to go to the next generation of consoles. But honestly, in terms of consoles, I think the base PlayStation 5 trounces everybody right now because they haven't done a second price increase, and it's running better in some situations than the PlayStation 5 Pro. So you have this more expensive unit, and unfortunately, it's running games better than the PlayStation 5 Pro in some instances. Some people are asking about, can I play Master Chief Collection? Ask me again in 2026, Wiggly. And also, Master Chief Collection, like, come on, you can bust out your 360 and play the Master Chief Collection. Your mom, is Ozzy a troll, or is he, yeah. Destin, you jinxed it. The ROG is good for me when I'm not by my PC. Yeah, I think the ROG, I seriously mean this. I think in terms of handhelds, the best price unit is not the X. It's that base ROG Xbox Ally. I think the ROG Xbox Ally is a really, really good sweet spot if you're looking to save money. And if you want the additional storage and all of the other stuff, then yeah. You can also, well, then if you want to think about it even further, if you want to just have a handheld on the go, get the LCD Steam Deck. It is unbeatable. It's $320 for an LCD Steam Deck. And I was nerding out about this. I was writing the script for my next video. The base Steam Deck, let me see here. Yeah, it has a basic screen, a bit of a smaller drive. It has Wi-Fi 5 and a little bit less battery life. But it has the same CPU, GPU, and RAM as its OLED model big brother. The LCD screen has 400 nits of brightness, so it's still functional. It's a 60 hertz screen versus a 90 hertz screen, but they were really smart with dropping the price on that base unit, and I think they really hit a sweet spot with the base Steam Deck. Bran says, geopolitics influence price. Hardware purchases are an investment. With the uncertainty, Intel will take years to catch up, so expect rising costs. He's right. Intel kind of just saw their own way out, and I don't know when I'm never going to buy an Intel CPU. I've always bought AMD. Since I built my first computer for playing Final Fantasy XI, that was an AMD CPU. I've never bought Intel. I've always bought AMD. There was a while there where AMD was, neck and neck with Intel. And now they just crush Intel in almost every test. And you're paying a high premium for Intel processors. So, yeah. And now, unfortunately, NVIDIA is that card that is just, everybody thinks you need the NVIDIA cards because of, DLSS and all the features that it has. But I wouldn't sleep on the AMD cards ever because they're also very powerful. In other Xbox news, of course, we got the big Forza Horizon 6 reveal. If you'll remember, Forza Horizon 6 was revealed during TGS. It was the least surprising surprise announcement that anybody has ever seen. This blog post is about answering the big questions about that Japan setting. I don't know why I said it that way. Let's read what Joe Screbbles, formerly of IGN, had to say. After years of requests, it's official. Forza Horizon 6 is coming in 2026, and it will be set in Japan. Announced today during the Xbox Tokyo Game Show 2025 broadcast, we saw a cinematic teaser that included Easter eggs from each of the previous games in the open world driving series, before offering a glimpse at the incredible world Playground Games is creating. Of course, a teaser trailer is always going to generate a lot more questions, and thankfully, I was able to go straight to Playground Games to get answers. Well, the guy who works at Xbox could go ask Xbox people questions. Oh, great. In discussion with art director Don Arceta and cultural consultant Kyoto Yamashita, we dug into exactly why Japan was chosen. I mean, because it's Japan. Japan's super cool, a super cool location. How this take on Japan will feel like a true reflection of the real life country and more. All right, let's read what they had to say. Why Japan was the right fit for the next Forza Horizon game. With Playground Games able to take their pick of setting from anywhere in the world, picking the right location could be seen as a challenge, but with Japan, so much was already in place. For a long time, Japan has been top of Horizon fans' wish lists, so we're excited to finally be bringing this much requested location to players in Forza Horizon 6, explains Artsetta. Japan has such a unique culture from cars to music to fashion that make it perfect for the next Horizon setting. As with any Horizon title, we want to make sure we do the country justice in terms of authentic representation and Horizon open world playability. And now is the right time to realize that fully for players. Now, what's really interesting about this is, as you may remember, the Horizon games aren't exactly about realism. They are more about over-the-top craziness and fun. So I am excited to see what they managed to do in terms of like, where are we going to be driving across the open fields? Is it going to be like Ghost of Tsushima, where you go across the fields in that location and it's just this beautiful picturesque moment? Or like, what are we going to be smashing in those locations? Because one of my favorite things to do in the UK was smash the brick sides and sort of mess with everything in the world. Here's a good question a little bit later in the interview. Will Forza Horizon 6 include changing seasons? Since Forza Horizon 4, Playground has been developing open worlds that can change as you play, with true-to-life seasons that fundamentally alter the setting around you. Japan features some of the most well-known beautiful seasonal changes in the world. Sweltering summers, snowy winters, and of course, the iconic Sakura season. Those precious weeks where cherry blossoms bloom across the country. Horizon players will be well acquainted with the seasonal changes as a core part of the experience as a setup. For Japan, seasonal changes have a dramatic impact on the landscape, interesting, and playable world, but also hold a deeper cultural meaning for the country and its culture. As such, in Forza Horizon 6, seasonal changes aren't just about changing how the game looks, but how it feels. The team has also been able to build a system where seasonal changes truly inform the world, how spring, summer, autumn, and winter subtly shift tone, activity, and sound, explains Yamashita. The team is also really proud of the attention to everyday details, ambient audio like station chimes or summer wind bells that instantly place you without a caption. Those are quiet choices, but they carry a lot of truth. You know what's really interesting? I mean, he kind of just gave us the fact that we will be near stations and we're going to hear train stations and they must be driving around in the location. So we're not going to see anything gameplay wise, just so you're buckled up for this, until next year. So we got our one teaser trailer, and here's all they said about gameplay. We'll be revealing more on Forza Horizon 6 in early 2026, says Aceta. Fans should keep an eye on our official Forza channels for more updates. We can't wait. The Forza series is fantastic. As you know, over on PlayStation, when Forza Horizon 5 went over there, it was one of the most popular titles that they released in quite a while. So it was really, really great to see that it was popping off, because it means more Forza stuff in the future. And I'm all for that. I don't know about you, but I really like sorry, I got distracted by a thing. Seeing more games be released, because those funds are going to allow them to continue making stuff. In other Xbox news, you know what? Before we get to that, I found this right before I started, because somebody was talking about Halo in chat. Before we get to that, let's take a second. I'll read chat. I am excited for Xbox 25th anniversary. I think Xbox will drop a lot of bangers, Forza Horizon 6 being one of them. Heard any news on new Halo next year? Interesting that you bring that up, Wiggly. We'll get to that in just a moment. Guys, I was once giving a serious speech. Okay, Super Soda's getting banned. I don't know what that was about. I almost read it. He's already been banned. All right, good work, mods. Thank you. What else we got here? Who is too old to play video games? All right. On the Halo note, though, this is from thegamepost.com. I've never heard of this website before, but when I started doing the news about Bungie, this site kept popping up. Leak reveals new details on Halo Combat Evolved Remake, hybrid Unreal Engine 5 and Blam Engine, sprint mechanic, Codev Studio, and more. Here's what's being claimed by, I don't know, somebody. A new leak claims Halo Combat Evolved's remake will use a hybrid Unreal Engine 5 and Blam Tech. Let's look up what Blam Tech is. What is Blam Tech? Blam Tech and gaming. Blam engine. Oh, it's the Halo engine. Okay, they use it in CE 2001. Interesting. Okay. It'll feature sprint, reworked missions, and is being developed with the help from another studio. Halo is clearly going through some big changes after years of fan feedback and a somewhat bumpy road with Halo Infinite. Microsoft officially restructured 343 Industries into Halo Studios in late 2024. Alongside the rebrand, it confirmed the franchise is moving over to Unreal Engine 5 with multiple new projects already in the works. While nothing has formally been revealed yet, there's been a lot of rumors that one of those projects is a remake of the original Halo Combat Evolved. Do you remember the Halo engine trailer? Because I do. Oh, Bellular just released a video about how YouTube is going to ruin everything. So great. Let me look it up here. Yeah, this is from 11 months ago. And it is a new dawn at Halo Studios. And within this asset, this trailer, we did get our first look at what we can expect to see the Halo universe look like. Obviously, this is being made in Unreal Engine 5, and long story short, it's looking absolutely phenomenal. Whatever the new Halo game ends up being, it's going to look great. Let's fast forward to the scenes with Master Chief, because we got a few shots here where we actually get to see Master Chief. It looks like he's fighting some Covenant, some specific elites here, and I think this looks great. For some reason, I thought it was a Halo 3 remake, but obviously it's a Halo 1 remake, and people are pretty excited about it. You can see some of the key locations here, some of the reflections on the ice. I think it is looking very, very good, and I'm pretty stoked about whatever this remake ends up being. Here's what Rebs Gaming is saying, according to this article. Well, nothing has been formally revealed yet. There's been a lot of rumors that one of those projects is a remake, and here's what Rebs Gaming said. Rebs Gaming reported new information from a source who attended a private event and spoke directly to a developer working on the rumored Halo CE remake. According to Rebs, the developer is from a co-development studio that previously helped 343i on features for the Master Chief Collection. Rebs didn't name the studio. Of course, it's probably Certain Affinity. Oh, he said it isn't Certain Affinity, and that this team has a lot more resources now and is handling major parts of the remake, including programming and design. One of the more controversial bits, the Halo CE remake reportedly includes a sprint mechanic. I got to be honest, when I go back and I play the old Halo games, not having a sprint is weird. It's just a relic of old games. I think it just got standardized at some point. And in my opinion, games just need to have a sprint feature, especially shooters. If you don't have it, it's a little bit strange in my opinion. And that's how I feel about it. Rebs also said the game will feature level design updates, especially to the infamous library mission, which many fans remembered for its repetitive layout. I didn't think the library was all that bad. I never thought the library was all that bad. I was actually surprised when I joined IGN and everyone's like, oh, the library, it's like the worst level ever made. I'm like, it really didn't bother me that much. I get it. Like, if I think about it, I get where people are coming from, but it didn't bother me. But yeah, totally hear them on sprint. I think sprint does need to be included in like all modern games. I'm told the visuals are pretty much the same as what we saw in Project Foundry, which has amazing visuals and is clearly based on Combat Evolved. And there will be level design changes, mostly to the library location, which involves Master Chief battling the Flood. On the technical side, the Halo CE remake reportedly uses a hybrid engine setup, mixing a modified Halo Reach Blam engine with Unreal Engine 5. Now, we sort of saw something like that with what they did in the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake, which is a remake of 3. It is 1-to-1 with that original engine. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up having to sort of mesh them together. And I have to wonder if, I think he just tilted his hat. My source says that it is similar in concept to Oblivion Remastered. So are they working at Virtuos? Is his source at Virtuos? Because that would be the other company. And if he's talking about, well, it's not the one company you think of. By the way, let's mention Oblivion Remastered, which was made by Virtuos and who could potentially be helping with this project. And it would make a lot of sense. Which uses Unreal Engine 5 to handle the graphics and rendering, while a modified version of the original engine continues to handle the underlying gameplay logic and world systems. This approach allows the remaster to benefit from modern visual tech while retaining the core mechanics and feel of the original game, which sounds perfect for the Combat Evolved remake. Lastly, he said a separate multiplayer-focused Halo project is still in development, potentially as a long-term live service title. That part's more speculative, but lines up with past rumors. So, I personally think that the idea of a remake of the Halo games, I think it's a really smart idea. And I think it's a smart way to co-launch a new entry in the series across platforms, get new player interest. And Rebs Gaming has had a lot of these insider sources. I feel like he has a new story about Halo every single week, and some of them have proven to be true already. So Rebs Gaming is always on the case when it comes to Halo. And I do appreciate that he's giving us these little tidbits. I hope that at the Halo Championship or whatever coming this October, we get a sneak peek at whatever is next from Halo Studios. And I would love to see what they have in store for us. I had to think about that for a second. And I'm wondering, hey, thanks everybody. I'm seeing a bunch of people in chat. Sorry, a little bit of a distraction. I'm seeing a bunch of people in chat who haven't watched for a while. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in and watching. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited about the Halo remake. I think it's a great way to get a whole new generation of gamers playing Halo and just talking about Halo related games. Because they got to do something, right? Speaking of doing something, did you know that this thing, it's called an iPhone. When you see stories or you have questions, you can pick it up and you can call phone numbers on it. And guess what? Other people have these things and they will answer the phone and answer your questions. So I tried this crazy, it must have been in the new iOS update. I don't know when they included this new functionality. It was really, really cool. But I tried out this new feature in iOS. I think you need to have the newest iOS feature to be able to use the phone on your phone. Anyway, I called Costco because there were all these stories about Costco, about how Costco is pulling Xboxes and such. So I thought I'd just call and I would ask what's going on. I just called the public number and they transferred me around to some people and somebody gave me an answer. Here's what they said. Just called Costco about Xbox stock. I was told that they will no longer be carrying Xbox consoles. We don't have any plans going forward to carry an Xbox console, saying it was a business decision. They did say that they have some great deals on Switch and PlayStation though. So again, this is just a public number that I called. They transferred me to somebody who handles inventory or something like that. He couldn't tell me like what's going on. I don't think this means indefinitely, like when the PS6 whatever comes along. I have to imagine Costco and Xbox could figure something out. But for the near future, I don't think we're going to be seeing any Xbox Series X consoles or Xbox Series S consoles at Costco anytime soon. As you may know, the founder of Costco is very much about giving people deals. I was just at Costco the other day and I paid $1 something for a slice of pizza. You can also get a hot dog for $1.50. That is a big draw for a lot of people, and it is something that he has been very serious about. And no matter how you cut it, none of the modern Xbox consoles are a good deal. It's old tech, it's overpriced, and I think Costco is just saying, this isn't a good value to our customers. And there's no package that Xbox can put together to compensate for that reality. Unfortunately, so many of the components for our Xbox consoles are made overseas. And I do think part of the reason they're getting dinged so hard is because of tariffs. Now, is that an excuse? Absolutely not. We're talking about $1 trillion company, but it is the reality. And that is why they have raised the price of consoles. I also believe that a big reason they've increased the price of consoles is because they're just not going to sell them anymore. The fact that the extra SSD is and always has been overpriced. Yep. It's way too expensive. Sam's Club also kicked out Xbox. That's interesting. I don't have a Sam's Club membership, but I will look into that. Somebody said this also not at Sam's Club. And this is coming from an Xbox fan. When you're pricing your console at $800, you can get a pre-built PC monster for about $1,000. They have them at Starforge. They have them at Jesse's place. Power GPU has about $1,000 rigs that you can get. You can get pre-builds for around $1,000. You have priced out the majority of your audience. And you know, the PS5 Pro is right there on the cusp. I still think the $750 is a great value. But you know what's an even better value? That base PlayStation 5, which as of yesterday, I saw all over Costco. They do still have Xbox game cards that you can buy, and they still have Xbox branding on the set. But yeah, I do think that Xbox is reducing their footprint with these consoles, but they seem to be doing well with a lot of their additional components. Now, this story got picked up everywhere. It got a lot of attention. The tweet itself didn't get a lot of attention, but I saw a lot of people pick it up and then a lot of people discussing it. But yeah, at these global chains where they try and sell stuff at a good price, you're not seeing Xbox consoles right now. So I don't think you're going to see them anytime in the near future. And that is what I was told by somebody who handles the inventory. I imagine maybe someday you'll see an Xbox console, but it's not happening in the near future. Now, why did their Xbox's story is that it's about the tariffs. I don't know how true or untrue that is. PlayStation has the same story, but you know why PlayStation has managed to hold off, at least on the second price increase? They said, Hiroki Tsutoki said in one of the PlayStation earnings calls that they mass stockpiled inventory because they have this goal of selling X amount of PlayStation units before the end of its life cycle. And they want to hit their target. So they got a bunch of units over here in the States. And they're even talking about building manufacturing plants in the United States so that they can not pay the tariff fees. It's a really, really interesting situation. I don't know what's going to happen here. Phil Roney says Trump did lift the tariffs on PC parts, but not systems. So when you have a pre-build, it doesn't help. Did you see Brad Sam's video about this? He suggests that Costco discontinued Xbox is that it's too hard to get stock and it wasn't feasible to try and keep shelves open for stock that isn't there. Well, also, it's probably hard to sell. Did you get a hold of Laura Fryer? I did. Nothing's going to happen in the immediate future, but I did get a hold of Laura Fryer. Thank you for asking. Thank you for following up on that, Alma. Appreciate it. I think Xbox is winding down this generation's console. They hit 30 million units and it's not selling. It's just not. So I don't know if they're exiting hardware. Obviously, they have this partnered handheld thing. They have said that they're still making the next console or whatever that ends up being, and they are making a proprietary handheld of some sort. What are those going to end up looking like? Who knows? Hey, while we take a little break here, don't forget you can hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Maybe YouTube will notify you, maybe they won't, but if you see my videos, you know what you could do? If you end up watching, just hit that like button. It is very much appreciated. I talked at the top of the show about how y'all just staying here, y'all just hanging out. Thank you so much. It does help a lot. And I do appreciate it when you actually hit that like button and actually integrate or integrate. That's a weird way to say it. Just do something within the video. Communicate with it. Like, leave a comment. Oh my God. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Yeah, it's definitely like a new plug. Hey, yeah, if you could actually click the videos when YouTube actually recommends them to you, that would be great. So that's the long and the short of it about Costco. I'm going to watch this Bellular video later because he says that he actually has some information about YouTube destroying everybody's channels. And I want to know what YouTube said. Yeah, because everybody's diving into their metrics and they cannot make heads or tails of it. YouTube's blaming ad block. Here's what YouTube said about the YouTube threshold. I was just going through YouTube's video thing here. We know seeing your view count drop is frustrating, especially when you can't pinpoint the cause. We've seen a lot of speculation that there is a connection between view count drops and features like restricted mode. That's not it. And want to clear things up directly. The short answer, restricted mode represents only a small fraction of the daily views on YouTube. There has not been an increase using restricted mode. Restricted mode is an optional setting that has been around since 2010 with no recent changes. Restricted mode is completely separate from the age protection measures applied to accounts under 18. Okay, we all know that. Return to baseline. Some channels that had high-performing videos are now seeing viewership return to their normal baseline. It can feel like a drop, but it's more so a leveling off after a big spike. No. Seasonal viewing habits. Every year we see significant shifts in viewership, especially around August. That's not true as summer ends. This is the normal part of the yearly cycle. This is such nonsense. That's just completely untrue. Viewers using ad block and other content blocking tools, ad blockers and other extensions can impact the accuracy of reported view counts. Channels whose audience include a higher proportion of users utilizing such tools may see more fluctuations in traffic related to updates in these tools. On platform competition, viewers could be watching other videos, channels, and topics on YouTube, which is typical. It's all nonsense. So their answer is the reason YouTube's all messed up. It's because you have ad block installed. So why am I getting punished because ad block exists? Why are you not being recommended the videos you want to see because ad block exists? It's the stupidest non-answer I've ever heard. I do have an open ticket with YouTube, so hopefully I get something. Here's what they told me. They told me basically they've changed how YouTube recommends videos. My core audience, it's Xbox focused. I think if I made a Destiny video, they might pay attention to it. Those are two of the things that people come to my channel for. If I make a topic about that, it might break through. But now the way I think it works is Xbox will present a video to your core audience, right? So y'all who are watching right now, hanging out right now, it will recommend to you. And if you like that video, if you have a high retention rate, if you watch it, then it will go to the next ring at a higher threshold. Then it will go up from here. Now, if I make something like my Morbid Metal interview, which I was very proud of, I think that was a great interview, and it only like sees that many interactions to my core audience, Xbox kills it. It kills it for my core audience. It kills it for the ring outside of that. Your content will not be seen, period. That's how it works now. So I have two topics I can cover. I can cover Xbox and I can cover Destiny. And I'm not going to play that game. Period. Like, that's crazy. I can only talk about those two things, like if I do a Nintendo video, organically, my audience isn't looking for Nintendo stuff. But the problem is YouTube doesn't recommend it to the Nintendo people either. It doesn't recommend it to anyone. So that's what I think YouTube is doing. Sorry, I had the Bellular video up. We'll get back to actual stuff. It's the thing that's on top of mind for me because it's been very frustrating to be basically gaslit and told it's my fault, that my fault or my viewers' fault. YouTube takes no accountability. YouTube says it's your fault or it's my fault. How is it your fault or my fault when you won't even recommend the videos I make to people subscribe to me who want to see them? It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. Anyway, so it's definitely not YouTube's fault. It's all our fault, you guys. So this is OD, getting back to Xbox for just a second. I'm interested about this game. I think Kojima, obviously he did the big PT demo. He did, and this does give me a little bit of PT vibes. I think it's looking great. OD, I don't know if it's related to the term like having an OD or whatever. This is what they revealed. This Kojima did some sort of exclusive thing with IGN, and he was also launching it on other platforms. And you light the candles and there's like creepy noises and you hear something behind you. My reaction to this is the vibe is right. The one portion that didn't get me was the monster. I did not find Mr. Big Hands to be scary or this wax candle melting in a weird way to be scary. All of that said, I absolutely trust Kojima to make things creepy. I think Kojima is definitely going to figure out a way to horrify us, to make things scary. I think the character models look absolutely phenomenal. Pat Fury says, I don't think it's much of a game. There is a chance that you're correct. There is a chance that it's more of a tech demo than a game. And I think that would kind of make sense. Yeah, so we never really see the monster. She's very upset by whatever is happening on here. But I don't feel like I know. I don't know. It didn't really freak me out. It didn't make me scared. But I do trust Kojima. I still have PT installed on my PS4. But like, oh yeah, here, I forgot they cut to a shot of somebody with very big hands. Like, I don't know. I don't think hands are scary unless they're like trying to crush her head or something. Like, I don't know what they're doing. But this one didn't creep me out. I really liked what he did with PT, though. I am very excited to see more about it. Here's what VG247 said. Bold, unique, and unmistakably Kojima. Kojima Productions reveals new look at Xbox published OD. Xbox's Phil Spencer says OD is bold, unique, and unmistakably from this studio. Speaking during a live stream held in Tokyo, Japan, Hideo Kojima claimed that OD, which now has the subtitle Knock, is a completely new gaming experience running in Unreal Engine 5. This is a special system, Kojima said. Even the infrastructure is totally new. Nobody has ever done this before. So I am repeating tests and experiments and can't speak anymore. There are lots of hints in the video. Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, also appeared on stage and claimed OD was bold, unique, and unmistakably from the studio. He said, "We're deeply supporting the production. I think our technical work with Unreal that we're doing with the team, both with the flashy stuff you see on the screen, but also a lot of stuff behind the scenes. We have one goal in mind, which is to bring Kojima-san's vision to life for all players everywhere, and we can't wait for players to experience it when it's ready." When it was announced back in 2023, Kojima called OD a new form of media. The game designer is collaborating with movie director Jordan Peele on the OD, which stars Hunter Schafer, Udo Kier, and Sophia Lillis. During the same 10th anniversary event on Thursday, Kojima Productions also premiered the first look for its PlayStation stealth game, Physint, and revealed a new augmented reality game in coordination with Niantic. So, we'll talk about Physint in just a second here. I am very interested in OD, and I very much trust whatever Kojima is going to end up doing with it. But I'm very curious about where he is going. He has this vision. He has this vision for the future of his company where, just buckle up. That's all I got to say. Because there is a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe, and Kojima is just cool. What did you think about TGS? Okay. To talk about the Xbox TGS stream, I think it was not a Destin live stream. I'll just say that. It was not for me. There weren't a lot of games for me. So in my opinion, it just wasn't super engaging from my perspective because it wasn't really a Destin stream. So yeah. Kojima also talked about like summoning a spirit or something like, and how he wanted to capture it. That was sort of creepy, but yeah. We'll go, I still have, what we got here. So we'll jump to an Xbox story because the Kojima story kind of dovetails really nicely into this one. There was this article posted that says Xbox Game Pass reaches largest investment to date in 2025, and the majority of partners want to continue signing new games. ID at Xbox head Chris Charla says Xbox's 2025 investment in Game Pass is its largest to date. So, out of all of the stuff that they have worked on, I do think that Game Pass has been very good for them. We have seen some indie games that wouldn't have been made without it, and Kojima's been doing quite well. Not Kojima. Xbox has been doing quite well supporting these smaller creators like Claire Obscure. One of those games that I need to actually find games to play has been doing really, really well. Here's what they say though. Microsoft's gaming subscription service is continuing to grow, with new comments indicating that Xbox Game Pass is getting more investment than ever before. Speaking with Eurogamer in a broader interview about Xbox and indie games as a whole, ID at Xbox head Chris Charla says that 2025 has been a massive year for Xbox Game Pass, with many developers wanting to continue bringing games to the service. The majority of players who've had a game in Game Pass want to bring their future titles to the service, Charla says. As a result, we've signed deals with more than 150 partners to expand the catalog. We continue to engage with hundreds of partners each year to review upcoming titles. Charla also says that 2025 marks the biggest investment ever for Xbox Game Pass, with an increasing number of teams being signed on for the program. Last year, we worked with over 50 teams to sign their first Game Pass deal. This year marks our largest investment in Game Pass to date, and we remain focused on delivering the most exciting and diverse catalog in gaming. That's great, isn't it? I think it's a good thing that people are taking the time to actually invest in this console. And I don't think I gave you enough of a shout out. Brand Mac with the $10. Thank you, Brand Mac, by the way. I just read your comment and I talked about it, but you're absolutely right. I forgot to say thank you. So thank you for the $10 tip, by the way. I just realized that just now. Speaking of investing in things, Xbox investing in smaller creators, allowing them to have that additional development time is great. And I think that Game Pass having that sort of investment is a huge reason why Xbox users play more games than PlayStation or Steam users, according to Ampere Analytics. Now, this is from Luis Wooldridge, who said the following. Ampere Games Analytics data shows that Xbox users play a higher number of games in an average month than gamers on PlayStation or Steam. In August this year, Xbox gamers played an average of 5.7 different titles, whereas Steam gamers played an average of 4.5 and PlayStation gamers played an average of 3.7, 35% fewer than Xbox users. Here's why I think that is. I think it's because on Xbox, you probably have Game Pass. And that means you just have access to all the games. So Silksong comes out. Sure, I'll play that for now. Let's check it out. But I'm really excited about the Oblivion remix, so I'm going to keep playing that. And I can check out all these other games. Maybe you're earning points or something. It is definitely an interesting metric for PlayStation gamers. The fact that they are just playing different things across the board makes me wonder if there would ever be a world where anybody would adapt even something similar to this. I know PlayStation has their rent to try out a game service. And I think it would be really, really cool if these other markets could figure a way to tap into that gold mine, because if you get people to actually play it, there is a chance they get converted into being a long-term customer. The Game Pass effect drives up consumption. With an estimated 34 million total subscribers and the majority of those accessing the service via an Xbox console, Game Pass is a strong driver behind the high game consumption of Xbox users. As of August 2025, there are more than 500 unique titles available to console users of Game Pass, although this is considerably fewer than PlayStation Plus Premium, which offers just under 1,000 games. Game Pass subscribers are far more active across the available titles. On average, PlayStation users play 2 fewer games each month compared to Xbox users, and this has been the case since Ampere tracking began in August 2022. Part of the reason, I believe, is because with PlayStation Plus, a lot of those 1,000 games are locked to the PlayStation 3. So you can only play them being their streaming tech. And I think on a long enough timeline, there's enough negative experiences with streaming tech that people don't end up having a great time. So I think that's a small piece of the puzzle. I think for the organic games, I think people are more apt to actually try it out. It says, are Xbox users less engaged than the average player? It is true, however, that Xbox users have lower average game time. That's because they're trying out the smorgasbords of games. They are spending less time in games than players on other platforms. This figure can vary considerably, and August 2025 was particularly unequal month. PlayStation and Steam gamers played for 12.7 and 119 hours respectively, while Xbox gamers came in at just 7.7 hours. That's interesting. So they play more games, but overall they end up playing less. I wonder, I know for me, I sit down to play games and I have so many options that sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what I want to play right now. I have this game that I could play to do a review or preview on. I have this game that I could play that I, from my back catalog, like Clair Obscur. I like the game I'm going to focus on probably for the rest of the year is Clair Obscur. So it is great that Xbox Game Pass is having the desired effect, but overall it does seem that Xbox gamers end up playing fewer hours than the competition. But yeah, that's where I sort of ended up. It is a bit overwhelming, but like not in like a super negative way or anything like that. Choice paralysis. I have 900 games. Yeah. Like just looking at my Steam library, let's see what I have access to. Do I have Steam open right now? All right. Here's what's on my Steam library. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Dune Awakening, the new Dying Light game, Borderlands 4, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Metal Gear Solid Delta, which I want to jump back into when the Fox version comes, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, Final Fantasy 16. I have all the Metal Gear games from Volume 1. I have Onimusha 2, the remake. Like, that's just off the top of my head. Or just looking at, like, recently played and things like that. And half the time, I just want to sit on the couch and watch YouTube shorts. I have Stalker 2 on my list too. Thank you, Philaroni. Stalker 2 is also there. But yeah, impossible to clear my backlog. Job and life is getting in the way. I feel you on that one, Pat Fury. All of that said, we're going to jump back to Kojima for just a second. Physint, everything we know about Hideo Kojima's new game. Back in 2024, Kojima Productions revealed one of the most highly anticipated upcoming action games on the horizon, Physint. Why is this upcoming Hideo Kojima game so exciting, you ask? Well, it marks the legendary game director's grand return to tactical espionage action. So a lot of people think it's coming out in 2030. In May of 2025, he said it's 5 or 6 away. We know that it's an upcoming PlayStation 5 game, but we don't know if it's exclusive. There has been no trailer, but there was one image released for the game. I don't know how to use Instagram. There was one image released for the game. It was this image, Hideo Kojima Physint. Now, for me, I think that this is going to be something akin to Metal Gear. And obviously, he literally calls it next generation action espionage. We know that it's being developed by Kojima Productions and that they have cast 3 actors, Charlie Frazier, Don Lee, and Minami Hamabe. Let's look up these people because I don't know Charlie Frazier, Don Lee as an actor, and I don't know Minami whatever his name is. Kojima did also tease that more stars have been cast, more announcements. So here are these people who have been cast. This is Minami. You probably can't see it. Let me see if I can move it over. Boop. So this is one of the actors. This is another. This is Don Lee. And this is Charlie Frazier. So out of all the actors, these are the 3 that have been revealed for Physint. Now, I love his tactical espionage games. They're some of my favorite games. So I am very excited about Physint. I'm less excited about OD, but just Kojima anything. I still need to finish Death Stranding. You know why I like Death Stranding 2 so much? Because you can play it like a Metal Gear game if you choose to. And it's very similar to the first one, but it's not like so hard that it ever gets frustrating. Just a really, really interesting game. And I highly encourage people to try out Death Stranding 2. That's another one I need to finish this year. Stunt says, I don't think backlogs are as big of a thing for people outside of the industry. Most of us have to pay for all of our own games. The backlog is a result of getting free codes to subpar games. I would argue that this year, I didn't request codes for subpar games. Like, I probably would have bought Borderlands 4. I got a code for Borderlands 4. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I did a big preview on the Patreon for that one. I really, really liked what I played for the preview. Yeah, none of the games that I request codes for have turned out to be subpar. I think there was one I didn't like. Oh yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That's another one that I got. It's just, yeah. You got the platinum on Death Stranding 2. So I have a whole gameplay channel where I've been streaming Death Stranding. And I finished, I'm like in, let me just tell you where I am. 1 second. I'll tell you where I am. Let me see if it comes up. It does come up pretty quick. So I have this whole gameplay archive channel, and I am still playing Death Stranding. I posted my whole walkthrough for Metal Gear up there because I just clipped them all out. I am on episode 4, The Bridge. That's about where I am. And I think I'm just about to go past the bridge. It's all out of order. I don't know why it's like this. Oh, wait. No, that was the last VOD I did. So the last gameplay, Chrysalis. So I'm on episode 6, Chrysalis. That's where I am. And I'm right at the end of Chrysalis because I know if I go through the door, it like goes to the next thing. So yeah. Steven, yeah, I want to finish Claire Obscure first. Then I'm going to finish Death Stranding 2. Then throughout the rest of the year, I think the only 2 games, and let me know if I'm missing anything, only 2 games that remain for the rest of the year for me are Ninja Gaiden and Gosiote. And I think I'm good. I know there's a new Call of Duty. I might do something with the Call of Duty, but top priority games to play and finish, Gosiote and what was the other one I said? Ninja Gaiden 4. Those are the only 2 that I am hoping that I get to play. Oh, Outer Worlds 2. Yeah, so I did the little preview for Outer Worlds 2. It was great. Arc Raider was great. Yeah, okay. You're making me sweat. I totally forgot about some of those games. I don't think I'm going to do Neo 3. I liked Outer Worlds 2 a lot. I talked about that last week. I haven't really seen the hype for it, but it is really, really good. Yeah, I need to get back to playing some of these games, though. Y'all are just reminding me of my crazy backlog. Let's get through some of these stories. We got a few quick hits here. Did you know that Doug Bowser is leaving Nintendo? Doug Bowser is the president. It says Bowser leaving Nintendo. Nintendo of America president to retire at year's end. Michael McWhorter, I think this is the guy I did the Metal Gear interviews with. I didn't beat Silk Song. I'm not prioritizing that one for me for Game of the Year. But it's just a game I like, but I'm not like in love with it. All the games I listed, like Borderlands, yeah. Here's what he said. One of my earliest video game experience was playing the arcade version of Donkey Kong, Bowser said in a statement released by Nintendo. Since that time, all things Nintendo have continued to be a passion for both me and my family. Leading Nintendo of America has been the honor of a lifetime, and I am proud of what our team has accomplished in both business results and the experiences we've created for consumers. Bowser joined back in 2015. They did announce that he will be passing the torch to, I'm trying to see if they list the name. I can't remember her name, but she has been in the industry for like ever, and it makes a lot of sense that he's passing the torch to her. Does anybody remember the name off the top of their head? Pritchard. Her name's Pritchard. I am humbled and excited to take on this new role, said Pritchard. Doug has been a fantastic mentor, and I look forward to building on the incredible foundation he has helped establish. With characters and worlds that offer something for everyone, my focus will be continuing to build on Nintendo's legacy of surprising and delighting our longtime fans, while at the same time welcoming new players into the Nintendo family. Devin Pritchard, that's her name. Definitely happy to see that somebody who's had a long-standing relationship with Nintendo take up the helm. Oh my goodness, how did I forget about this? I loved the new Wolverine trailer. It's coming to PlayStation fall of 2026. We're going to get a new update in spring. All I'm really going to say on this one, hey, Chaos Launch, good to see you. All I'm really going to say on this one is, man, I am super hyped for the new Wolverine trailer, or after seeing the new Wolverine trailer. I think it is deliciously gory. I think there were a lot of hints about new locations we're going to get to travel to. I really, really enjoyed this. And if anybody can nail a game like this for a mass audience, I think it's absolutely Insomniac. I think Insomniac is a great team. Obviously, you can see all of the crazy goriness. Somebody in chat said, I'll wait for it to come to PC, but you're going to wait for it. That's the thing. You are excited about it. Some people are saying this is a reference to Storm. I don't think this is a nod to Storm. I don't know why people are saying that Storm is being referenced in this trailer, but one thing I did miss was this. This character here, I think they're trying to tease, because she's wearing all green, that it's Viper. And I actually don't think it's Viper. I think it's just the bartender from the comics. I'm blanking on her name off the top of my head, but I think they're giving us a little bit of a misdirect here. A lot of people mistakenly said this was Japan. This is very clearly British Columbia. This is supposed to be Logan looking for people in British Columbia. There were a lot of mistakes in some of the analysis I saw. Like, yeah, you can actually see. So this sign here, I'm going to nerd out for a sec. This sign here says Squamish. This is Highway 99 North. So he is driving towards the town of Squamish from Vancouver. And I believe it was in BC. And this is Madripoor over in Japan. I believe he is in Lowtown. And then he's showing the streets of Lowtown fighting. These are called Reavers. He's fighting the Reavers here. I'm not super familiar with a lot of the stories of his time in Japan, but I am familiar with Omega Red. The Omega Red storylines have always been really, really good. He has these spores that slow Wolverine's healing factor. I hope there's a little bit more enemy variety. The Wolverine teaser bar had a number plate on the wall referencing to a Hulk-related comic inside. I don't think so. I think that was referencing the issue where he had his adamantium ripped out of his skeleton, because it's issuing volume 1, issue 25, unless it's changed in the trailer. So in their stand-up thing, yeah, there's nothing here that references I just rewind it really quick. There's nothing there that references any of the old Hulk issues. But anyway, game's looking pretty cool. Here's the part where he pops out his claws, fights the guy. Yeah. And then also they tease the Sentinels here at the end. That's one of the striker bad guys. So I do think we are going to get him exploring some of the new locations, like British Columbia, where he tries to find out more about his past. And I think in BC, that's where he's going to end up running into this Sentinel. So I think we're going to see a big Sentinel fight. In the games, they never pair Wolverine against like a fully functional Sentinel. It's always a Sentinel that's like kind of messed up a bit. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. I have seen the criticisms about some of the character designs. Honestly, yeah, I kind of get where some of the people are coming from with some of the character designs, but I think they nailed Wolverine. I think they nailed the Reavers all look good. And a lot of this is gameplay, you guys. Separate from that, there was a little bit of a Metal Gear update. They confirmed that Volume 2 is on the way. I'll just go real quick to the synopsis over by VG247. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is still moving forward properly, Konami says. It's still not confirmed whether the PS3 only Metal Gear Solid 4 will be included. Obviously, they're probably keeping that one in their back pocket. But if you know Metal Gear, there is one game that remains locked behind the PlayStation 3 system. It's Metal Gear 4. So Volume 1 included Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, all of the OG Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 is a great collection. My main criticism of the Volume 1 collection is the fact that they didn't really modernize a lot of the games the way that modders have and people have done over time. I think they could have done a little bit of a stronger job with making sure it was the best version possible. And unfortunately, they didn't quite hit that cadence with a lot of the games. And there is still some patching that needs to be done with Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. Philaroni says, what about Acid and Peace Walker? I think they really, really need to consider adding Peace Walker to their collection. But Peace Walker was released, I think, in a version that you can play. No, it's also locked to the PS3, isn't it? So yeah, all of those like smaller games, I think they would be good NES replacements, like good to haves. So you can have a nice complete collection, even if it's not of the superb quality, but just having them, I don't know why, it just makes me feel good knowing that I would have the complete collection of games. Peace Walker had a HD collection on 360. Yeah, so that one's backwards compatible, and I have the physical copy of that. So yeah. The game looks like it will have Wolverine Origins Devil. Speaking of Metal Gear, we actually got a date for Metal Gear Solid Delta's Fox Hunter mode, and they actually talked about it. It's coming October 30th, or yeah, it will release on October 30th, and they gave us a little bit of a sneak peek at how the gameplay will perform. This was during the production hotline, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This reminds me of a lot of the stuff that they used to do with Metal Gear Solid. What was it? Metal Gear. So good. So good. They did this with Metal Gear 4 with the online mode. There was a lot of crazy stuff that you can do. And it also sort of reminds me of Prop Hunt. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to make for a lot of wacky moments. I am very excited to see what they end up doing here in terms of gameplay beyond what we've already seen, because this is just so wacky. I absolutely love it. You're going to be seeing people running around. Yeah, Metal Gear Online, Philaroni. That's what it reminds me of. You're going to see people crawling around as like a bush. It's so good. Yeah, so the camo aspect, it's definitely like the gameplay hook that they're leaning on, and I'm excited to see more. Unfortunate news, if you are a Borderlands fan and you only have a Nintendo Switch, the Switch 2 version of Borderlands 4 has been delayed, everybody. That's right. You're going to have to wait. Very unfortunate timing. The Switch 2 version of Borderlands 4 delayed. All digital pre-orders are being canceled, and Gearbox hasn't shared a new release date. Canceled. That's a significant development, in my opinion, the fact that it's been canceled entirely. Now, I do wonder when they're going to be releasing something. Here was the official statement. Greetings, Vault Hunters. We need to share that the release of Borderlands 4 on Nintendo Switch 2 is being delayed. We do not take this decision lightly, but are committed to ensuring we deliver the best possible experience to our fans. And the game needs additional development and polish time to do that. Our hope is to also better align this release with the addition of cross saves, which we are working on and recognize is very important. Great. I think that's a positive, right? We will update you all with a new release timing once we've fully adjusted our plans. In accordance with Nintendo's policy, all digital pre-orders to date will be canceled. Customers can initiate that process themselves now, or it will happen automatically starting on Friday, September 26th. For questions about the Nintendo eShop, contact so-and-so. The physical pre-orders, please reach out to your corresponding dealer. As you may have heard, there have been major performance issues with Borderlands 4. It is not running the way it needs to, and honestly, if it needs to be delayed, it needs to be delayed. So I think that is totally fine, and I support it. I suppose real quick, I have two other stories that I want to talk about. First of all, the fact that Battlefield 6 campaign, it's going to let players command a squad. And oh yeah, EA is going to sell their company. EA. Back when the Activision thing was happening, I remember talking about this. I said, I think that we are seeing a reset point for the entire industry. I think we're going to see a lot of companies buying each other, and we're going to see this massive reset. One of the places that is buying up a lot of industry is Saudi Arabia. Electronic Arts might be returning to being a private company, reads the Insider Gaming Post. According to a new report from the Wall Street Journal, EA is deep in discussions on a $50 billion deal that would take the company private. The report, paywalled, claims that investors include Silver Lake and Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. This deal, according to the outlet's sources, could be announced as soon as next week. Discussions on price are still underway, but the deal could value EA at as much as $50 billion. The Wall Street Journal says, while nothing, that its market value was roughly $43 million prior to details of the talks going public. The PIF already owns a 10% stake that it purchased in 2023. Silver Lake, on the other hand, doesn't have any stake currently in the company, but it does have a partial ownership of Unity, which EA has used for past titles. Should the EA sale happen, Wall Street Journal believes it would become the largest leveraged buyout ever, not adjusting for inflation. The current largest buyout in the sale of TXU in 2007 for $32 billion, as the publishing EA stock has risen nearly 15% since the news of the deal was first reported. The company's next earnings call is scheduled for October 28th, 2025. Certainly going to be a very interesting earnings call. Now, this is actually a situation where EA could be pushed to do this versus a situation like with Activision. I mean, Microsoft could buy it. Maybe they don't want to. I think Microsoft is over leveraged right now in the gaming business, and they're trying to figure out what they do with their existing titles. So it's a substantial story. I think Battlefield 6 does look great. I did see the campaign trailer. I highly recommend you go check it out. And it sounds like you're going to be able to have squad mates. And it sounds like EA is going to have squad mates in Saudi Arabia in the near future. EA must go private. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I bet that's going to be a very interesting earnings call, especially when the investors get to ask questions. I suppose there was one other story I want to talk about real quick. Crimson Desert is getting a March 2026 release date. That's not what I want to talk about. My old buddy Ryan McCaffrey had a great interview at LA Comic-Con. Apparently he's just down the street. And Bully 2 never happened because of bandwidth issues, said Dan Hauser. Go check it out over on IGN. Dan Hauser did a big interview with Ryan. Here's a little clip from X where they talk about all of the stuff. There was a lot of other great stuff out there too. Dan Hauser talked about how his story was too dark for GTA 6, and there was a lot of stuff coming. I will link to the IGN interview in the comments below. Definitely a good get for Ryan and IGN. Seems like the larger story is the continued implosion of the AAA gaming industry. You nailed the nail on the head, JT. Is that how you would say it? Definitely. Ryan rules. He plays inverted. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that if playing inverted means you rule, then Ryan definitely rules. I can hear the kids playing outside. Nap time is over for the boys, so that means the live stream has kind of come to an end. Thanks, everybody. That was all the news for today. I appreciate you hanging out. To recap, because I know a lot of people like to talk about it, the prices for the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X were released. We have one at $999.99. That is for the ROG Xbox Ally X. And we have one at $599.99. Both are great. We also got reveals for Forza Horizon 6, which we know will take place in Japan. There's rumors about the Halo CE remake being developed, similar to how Metal Gear Solid Delta was developed, where the base engine is getting a nice gloss of paint over it, so to speak, and it will have sprint. So that was exciting. OD was revealed as an Xbox game from Hideo Kojima. Xbox has invested more than ever before in Xbox Game Pass, and we learned that Xbox users play more games than PlayStation or Steam users. We also learned that Physint from Hideo Kojima has a lot of the core features that we would expect from a tactical espionage action game. Doug Bowser retired at Nintendo. Marvel's Wolverine is a very cool looking game that I am very excited about. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is moving forward properly. Makes me very happy to hear. Borderlands Switch Edition has been delayed indefinitely as they figure it out. EA is potentially being sold to Saudi Arabia as they close their deal. And that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for listening, everybody. I really appreciate you hanging out. I hope this stream was a little bit better put together than always. If you end up watching this in VOD form or in real-time form, as you know, the YouTube algo changed. So hit that like button, hang out. Thank you so much for doing that. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to the members, Chris Reddy, Phil Aroni in chat right now, and Aries EMS. I do greatly appreciate you watching. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.